Originating in the 1890s, Art Nouveau was art for art's sake. Art Nouveau stretched from architecture, jewelry, and illustration, using sharp curves and bold lines coined as whiplash. Many common themes of the style were derived from botanical studies and illustrations of sea creatures. One of the most famous artists in the movement was Alphonse Mucha, an artist originating from the Czech Republic. He was well known for his advertisement and illustration. Mucha was known for his complex pieces of women, often in the nude, where he used many jewel tones and bold borders on his subjects. There are also often backgrounds comprising of complex lines intertwining with organic shapes, giving them a lot of movement. There are also often backgrounds comprising of complex lines intertwining to form organic shapes, giving a lot of movement to the art. When you do a Google image search for Art Nouveau, every piece on the front page is either one of Mucha's originals or a piece inspired by his unique style. This piece is called Cycles Perfecta and is a beautiful example of his advertising career. Being an advertisement, the bold black outlines in the women's hair help the piece pop and draws your eyes to her face. The warm colors make the piece noticeable and more likely to make the viewer feel energized and impulsive. Perfect for making a bigger purchase. Mucha is known for painting many beautiful women in his pieces, and putting one in this piece does not hurt his chances of selling them. This breathtaking painting is a more serious piece from Mucha's collection, known as The Slavs and Their Homeland, as a tribute to Mucha's childhood home. This piece says a lot about where he comes from. In the top right corner, there is a man with his arms outstretched. This is a pagan priest surrounded by two women. These women are dressed in clashing clothing, with one in a fiery red dress and headpiece, while the other is in a more subtle blue robe and seems very calm. These representations of war and peace surround the priest, symbolizing how their balance rests on his power. These representations of war and peace surround the priest, symbolizing how their balance rests on his power over the people. Behind him in the background, there is a war being waged with a fire off in the distance. And in the foreground are two women who are crouching low and looking at the viewer with a longing, desperate stare. This is a representation of the environment in the Czech Republic when Mucha was a child. The Czech people were under siege from the Persians when he was little, and after they won his homeland, there was a German occupation and a massive and deadly cholera outbreak. Both of these tragedies are represented in the piece of Mucha's homeland, and are not presenting his country in a great light. The Czech people were under siege from the Persians when he was little. And after they won his home, there was a German occupation and a massive deadly cholera outbreak. To show his growth as an artist, Mucha would create this series of 4 panels, called The Moon and the Stars, depicting the morning and evening stars, as well as the moon and the North Star. To show off his growth as an artist, Mucha would create this series of 4 panels, called The Moon and the Stars, depicting the morning and evening stars, as well as the moon and the North Star. These pieces were to show off Mucha's skill and to show how he is not confined to his more basic and less detailed pieces. Painting these women in complex poses and with radiating light, each woman was in a different dynamic pose that gives them each a unique personality. The morning star has her hand covering a light emanating from her forehead, and has a loving and kind expression on her face, as if she is welcoming you into the new day. The evening star looks away from the viewer and is covering part of her face. She also totes more fabrics than any of the other panels. She seems to be beckoning the viewer to bed as the night draws near. The moon covers her mouth and looks surprised that the viewer is looking at her. She looks to be quieting you, as if not to wake anybody up in the middle of the night. Finally, the North Star is manipulating a light, as if to lead sailors back to their homes. The different poses propose different challenges in the lighting and shadows. By giving these pieces these challenges and then illustrating them beautifully, Mucha sought to show himself as a talented and successful artist. By giving these pieces these challenges and then illustrating each beautifully, Mucha sought to show himself as a talented and successful artist.